Hello, folks, and welcome to the Community Curation podcast. I am your host, the Gothic Storyteller, and with us today is BDsGaming, aka Angie. How are you doing, lovely?
Hi, I'm great. How's everybody? How are you today?
Tired. It's been a weekend. It's been a weekend, and we're ending the weekend with work. Really, I don't even like thinking about this as work because it's a whole conversation piece that that we have here. But we get to sit there and talk about a franchise that I have both a love and a hate relationship with. But first and everything, I do want to sit there and get to know Angie just a little bit more and everything. Angie is a Twitch streamer. Uh, we always sit there and we always talk horror films whenever she blows up my freaking phone. It's like, hey, you've seen this film? Oh, hey, what's this? Hey, can you ask your sister this? Definitely a little sister energy and everything. Angie, when did you start streaming? What made you want to be a streamer?
So I wanted to just express how much I really like people, but then I didn't like people. I'm the type of person, I'll be fine, I'll talk to you and everything, but I just don't like people being around me. And I noticed that I was actually pretty good at Call of Duty when it first came out, when it very first came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started playing it, and like I had people kept telling me start streaming, and I never did. I was like, I ain't gonna do that. Why? Everybody started it when the pandemic happened for COVID. Um I decided to do it late, so I started the game. I got myself into debt, a good 5K into debt of streaming. I got myself my whole PC set up, camera, everything. And then I just started. I got the encouragement from one particular streamer that I think he still does it, but I haven't seen him that often because streaming life is not a permanent job income. It's a hobby. So he ended up having to get a full-time job. But me, I'm still a full-time streamer and I work, a mother, a wife, everything that you could think of. So my message was to everybody was that just because you suck at a game doesn't mean that you could stream. There's no rules or guidance that says that you can't stream.
Mm-hmm.
Because my platform is just to chill, relax, get away from the world for a little bit, and enjoy the company for everybody else. I don't care if
Mm-hmm.
I suck. I don't. You could tell me all that. I don't care. I just want to be around people. That's
Th-
all.
that was me earlier today watching Sis stream. It's like Sis isn't really good at Resident Evil. She's slowly working her way up with some games. Like she can play Fortnite, she can play Phasmo. Like, I'm not sitting there saying she ain't a gamer, but like, when it comes to her playing these types of games, um, like Resident Evil, because she's playing the remaster, um, it's funny watching her because, like, to me, I've seen so many other streamers play this and I played the OG ones, and so I'm like over here
Mhm.
like, all right, well, they changed a lot. Can't really rely
Mhm.
on my fucking experience past playing this, but I've been watching her, and I'm like over here. It's like, oh yeah, you can use those boards to board up the windows to keep some of the zombies out. She's like, oh, and like earlier today, as she's figuring stuff out, I'm over here gaming, trying to de-stress after what I will sit to say is both a good and a bad week. I actually had a really, really good week. Very, very first and everything. With the new clientele, new type of job I'm doing with book editing.
Mhm. Oh,
Very, very,
nice.
yeah, very rewarding. And I'm like over here relaxing, and I can hear Sis like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And then as she's trying to solve a puzzle, she's like, "Oh!" And like I was like, "She's getting it. She's getting it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect at a game, to be a streamer and everything. Not everything is speed runs and like how many dubs can you wrap up at the end of the day. It's like it's all about having fun and hearing people
Yeah.
scream.
Yes.
And you have that
Yeah,
disclaimer. You have that disclaimer for your
I
stream.
do. I do. And the only reason why I have that, actually one time I did stream and one of my videos had got flagged. And it got flagged over 100 and something times because I got scared in the game. And I know which one it is. I actually have it clipped on TikTok for that. And it's actually the first one that's on there, that's pinned. It was that stream that I had, and I was with Goose and Goldie. Uh, so that I did not know you could get flagged if you scream too much. So now I have that. So now there's no, I can't get flagged from it again.
Are you
And of course,
serious?
I can't get flagged from it no more because I have that
You
viewer
have that, you
discretion
had
on
that.
there.
Oh my lord.
Yes, so Twitch and TikTok's even worse, but Twitch is like really anal when it comes to having certain things of viewable and readable for people to see.
Mm-hmm.
So like mine's is 18 and older, so I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
I have that, and I have the viewer discretion. I have that now permanently on my stream because even in Call of Duty, I'm shouting, I'm cursing, I'm saying all the words in the book, um to because that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I'm a shit talker. So um so
I
that yeah, I have that now.
I feel like I'm still a bit of a shit talker, but I do my best not to do that too much on stream. Because like I
Hmm.
kind of like felt like after a bit, I was like it made me like, well, for one, I felt like I was sweating so much, and like a lot of those like online multiplayer games, I'm all like, man, whatever happened to just enjoying myself? I worked myself into a corner where it's like I'm not enjoying myself. I am like insulting anyone and everyone, and I was like, I gotta change this. I can't be the shit talker streamer, even though like believe it or not, that's kind of like the base of what my community was originally built up on. And then they're all
Yeah.
like, "You're talking about movies? Ew, I'm out of here." And then now they're all like, "You stop playing these games? Ew, I'm out of here." And it's like, I don't give a
And
shit.
yeah, and I feel like those type of, because I've had followers like that unfollow me because of certain things, because similar to that is like if you're not a true hard follower because of the person that you're watching, not because of what they're doing, just the person that you like. Um I've had that before, and I did try the whole let it be a family community thing. I did try that for a while, and it just was not me. I had a lot of people ask me, like in the comments, were like, "Are you okay? Is everything fine?" I've had DMs, from others saying like, "Are you okay? Because you're not yourself. You're not cursing. You're not being like toxic towards other people." One person in particular pointed it out, and that's when I changed myself back to who I was you're not doing your little evil laugh. Apparently I have an evil laugh that I don't know about it until
All little
I
people have an evil
think
laugh.
yes, so
Because you're
there is an
closer.
evil laugh that
You're closer to hell. That's why you're. It's the same
yeah.
thing why you don't piss off little people. Is they're closer to hell. They get that energy a lot quicker than us tall folks and everything, and it fills you up a lot quicker and everything. And at the end of the day, though, like you do whatever makes you happy when it comes to this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, most
Um,
definitely.
I think most people have just realized I'm an asshole. It's all like, really? I think I've sat there and marketed that very very well. Unless when I talk to my film
Uh
stuff, I talk to my film stuff, then I'm like that. I don't know. I try to like look at myself almost like a historian kind of thing, because I mean, there are films that I talk about apparently no one knows anything of. It's like, how do you not know this? There's like this very first science fiction film, and they're like, I'm all like, all right, well, let's type to break out the encyclopedia knowledge brain and whenever the brain works. But yeah, no, I get now
I've talked to you
most.
about that.
Yeah.
You're very knowledgeable on a lot of films. Like some of the ones that you told me that I didn't even know like the background of them, and I was like, oh shit, like okay. And I'll sit here and listen, and I'm just like, dang, I did not know that. And then especially if it catches my attention, here I am going on the Google and asking, you know, what this and that is about.
Yeah, but most of the time I've either read that in the book from someone else, or I've learned that through TikTok, and then I've kind of hunted down that source of like, all right, well, TikTok said it. It's kind of like Wikipedia. How long can you actually really take someone at face value? You sometimes can, but
Hmm.
if they don't directly source it, then it's like, all right, well, gotta go find that source. Oh, there it is. They're right. They're not full of shit. I have something at the next family gathering to talk about and everything. I know I am currently right now on a hiatus from the content creating over on YouTube. The Bourbon Still video, which again, for those that follow the channel and everything. Thank you guys again for that support right there. That Barbara Still video did so freaking well. I
Mm-hmm.
I I overthought that damn video, and there were things I wanted to change to it, and a lot of the feedback I got to it, I was like, oh shit. And so we're coming back. We're coming back in November because I can go and sit there and say it because I know the people on the not Patreon, Ko-fi and everything already got it informed. So I'm doing Hammer Horror Legends Peter Cushing and Sir Christopher Lee to wrap up this year for October and not October, November, December. I'm going to be covering
Oh.
some of the characters that they played. I was like, you know what, that's a good way to really kind of end this year off. Let's end it with some real icons of gothic horror, and and we'll sit there and do that. And I plan to sit there and go back to like a little bit more of the silent films. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's my market, not market. That's my niche. I love a lot of silent cinema. If you haven't noticed from my Twitch streams, it's like I like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
silent cinema. But folks, we're gonna sit there. We're gonna switch over from the screams of Twitch and the horrors of content creating to the horrors of James Wan's franchise, The Conjuring. This is our second franchise because our first one, you guys can go back a few episodes behind. I was interviewing the horror historian, and we talked the Tremors franchise with the Graboids and all that. So we're going to be tackling just the main Conjuring films, not any of the spinoffs, not the Nun, Annabelle. I feel like there's another one. Oh, the Curse of La Llorona. That one's
La
supposedly a
Leona.
spinoff.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about as
Yes.
white as you're gonna get that Spanish.
you
um,
Go ahead, sorry.
they were supposed to be like I think the Crooked Man. I think that was supposed to be one, but I
The Crooked Man is in there, yes.
yeah.
There
But
hasn't
like
been word about it, which I hope they don't do it, honestly.
Juan confirmed May 2025. He took one day to create the Crooked Man. So yeah, no. There's apparently Wolves at this Door. So there's some related films. I've never even heard of this. It's loosely based off the Manson family murders of 1969. Yeah. It's not an installment in the Conjuring universe, but apparently somehow it's related. That's kind of weird.
There's always something related into it. Like a lot of the spin-offs that you saw was in it. Like it was there at the beginning, no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah, like Annabelle, and then
Yes.
La Llorona. I don't sit there see how any of that connected, but the Nun.
The
Um,
nun was definitely the first that was in the first one too as well. If you pay attention
no,
to it, she
second
was
one, right?
there.
Yeah, it's the second.
And yeah, she was in the
Well,
second one too.
they relate back,
That
I
was the
think, to the
introduction.
first one. They relates back to the
Mm-hmm.
first one, but yeah. We're talking Conjuring and everything. Uh, I love the first film. That was a
Mm-hmm.
theater experience that I rarely ever had. That quite literally, I saw the hair on my arm stick up,
Yes.
like to the point it
Uh
even frightened my mom. My mom sat there and saw how frightened I was because she sat there and she saw my arm and everything, and then we had some weirdo down the road like looking at us like, what, like are you guys really talking? I was like, you're fucking a few seats away, shut the fuck up, like. But why did you pick this franchise for one, or
uh
for
so the reason why I picked this is that I I have not seen a scary movie in a very long time until The Conjuring came through. And I think The Conjuring was just the main one that just really like was interesting to me because it wasn't just like telling a ghost story. These are real events that had happened. These are real people that are involved that are telling their story or getting their stories told.
mm-hmm.
So, like you said about the Conjuring, how like it gave you goosebumps. Like when I first saw it on the trailers, I was like, "Ooh, this looks good." And I remember looking at my husband like another scary movie, and he starts laughing. So when we went, I was like, I told him let's not get too close. I told him let's get dead in the middle. And I'm a type of person on movies. I have to be in the middle seat. I have to be not too close, not too far from the theater. And I remember watching this and grabbing my husband so hard that like I put hand marks on him because I was that scared from it. And to be able to see all this stuff after that movie, I did end up going and looking and doing my own research on everything because I was like, I want to know if this is really true. Because sometimes, they kind of like stretch the truth a little too much
Based on
or
true
a lot.
events, but
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's what I did. And this one was like something that I was like, okay, I have to talk about it because I know like The Conjuring is pretty much the only film that I really know a lot more than any other.
So this film kind of had you do a little investigation on your own for the facts and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So are you a believer or a skeptic into the paranoia or the
I am
paranormal, not the
100%.
paranoia?
I'm 100% am a believer. I am like 100% believer. Just like if you can't explain it, then then what else is it? Uh, what is somebody really going to be able to throw themselves 5 feet across the ground from one point one to the other? Uh,
I feel like there are
how
some
this
people that can do that, but yeah.
I mean, there's other things too. It's like, how is it that somebody can speak a old language that's been dead for many, many years that
Hmm.
nobody can't translate anymore, and all of a sudden you're able to do it?
Yeah.
So if you believe in God and the devil, then how else? There's always going to be a good and evil balance between both.
All right. I definitely feel you on that. I've had some of my I've had a brush or two with the paranormal stuff. There was one that quite literally it was I think it was a few months after my grandpa passed away. I sat there and thought that he came to visit, scared the living shit out of me.
Hmm.
And everything, which the old man had always kind of had and everything. Like, he was always kind of grumpy, but like, having that going on. And I sat there and thought that was grandpa. And I was like, ah, shit. It's like he had to get one last scare out of me, but before he left and everything. But yeah, I I, I would definitely also set to say I'm very much a skeptic, but I am a believer.
Hmm.
It's more of the all like,
Yeah.
okay, you got ghost orbs, congratulations, that can be achieved nowadays. So it's like, give me something really, really big that I can't give you an answer of. All right,
Hmm.
you got me. I'm
Yeah.
interested. What do you have? It's like, all right, you got my full attention and everything. Um, the Conjuring, for me and everything, it covers the Perron family. I actually believe this is the best of the entire franchise. This is the best film. Um, on
Agree.
part because it's not Warren heavy. Like
Yes.
they pop in, they have these moments, but I really do enjoy the dynamic of the family, from Ron Livingston and Lily Taylor. um
Hmm.
I don't know if other people got confused with Ron Livingston as I did, because I sat there and oh, nope, never mind, he is the guy from Loudermilk. I don't know if you've ever seen
Hmm.
that TV show. Fucking phenomenal and everything. I love Ron. He was also in Office Space
Yes.
and everything. So like, seeing him and seeing this family that is being plagued, he's always away. He's always away on work and
Hmm.
everything. The family's in debt because they bought this house, which to me, I'm sorry, but a house with a creepy ass tree right next to the lake. The memes of, like, oh yeah, like the house is fairly cheap, but like 5 families died in it, and it's like all the white people in the horror films, yay, and like they're moving in. I was like, this is that house that does that. And I think that this film is big strength outside of a lot of the horror stuff. It is what the
Hmm.
Perron family goes through. So I will do my best as we go through these sequels to not shit on them, because they have some good moments too. They have good moments too.
Yes.
It's not a total shitstorm, but like, to me, I think this is the icing on the cake already. What about you?
Hmm. So with first of all, back in that time of when from the original story, is that realtor whenever they were purchasing homes that cheap because it was stupid cheap,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have to disclose what happened at the house and how did the land get divided up and everything. They didn't have to disclose any of that. Now these days they have to tell you if somebody died in a home, but you can easily Google that.
Yeah.
So for them to up and leave, I didn't get too much information about why they left their original home to go into this one.
Hmm.
But like you said, a creepy lake and a big giant tree. The tree, the original tree was not that big, but it was a big tree.
Oh, okay. So
Um, yeah. So
it's
every
it's
so the
it's
how
more blown up to heighten the
yes.
horror.
So that's where I came from the beginning. Like the truth has stretched out from where it. So the house, the whole entire picture that you saw from when you first see everything, that is not the original home. That's not the original everything. The home was not that big. The it was acres of land with
Yeah.
woods in there, but it was not like that. So they did, of course, overdid it for that dramatic effect and get the people to come and see.
Yeah.
So that right there was definitely like, mm, I wouldn't be going to a big creepy
I
house
think
like
I've I
that.
think I've seen the original Perone house before in a photograph, and I always thought it was a one-story home. But I'm looking at the poster right here, and it's giving you like that two-floor
Like
colonial and
yes,
everything. It's
yes,
it's
yes,
giving you everything that is what you would expect in a gothic horror film of that time.
yes,
Um,
yes.
and there's another film that kind of has this look. I don't know the basis of the facts and everything on it, but it's called An American Haunting.
Oh,
I don't
those
know if
were
you've
my
seen that one.
favorite.
I think
I've
well, no,
seen them.
it's like an 1880s. I think it's supposed to be post
Uh,
Civil War,
mm-hmm.
and supposedly I think it's a daughter or it's a son that's like been placed under a curse by a witch or something like that, and then you're just watching this whole entire fucking family go out, and like to me, I was like, that's what it felt like this was, but it didn't rely heavily
Mm-hmm.
on the color blue. I don't know why early
Yes.
2000s everything was saturated in blue, and it's all like, yeah, it's like give us a different color.
Yeah.
And the Conjuring universe kind of did that for me, but then
Yeah.
it kept that palette a little too much, you know, to change it up and everything. But the story of the Perones, the involvement of the Warrens and everything, at this point, I don't think that they were kind of known, but not too much. Like it wasn't quite as celeb status as like the sequels would have
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, but what did you think about like the dynamics between the family and the Perones, or the Warrens and the Perones in this compared to what the other sequels did with their families and the Warrens?
So with this one, I really felt like there was the connection because of course they had their daughter, the Warrens had their daughter that was Judy. She was about the age of their uh what, two or three younger kids that they had, because they
Mm-hmm.
had five girls. That's five girls. But again, back in the day, that was it.
Nobody had a
TV wasn't
hobby.
great. TV wasn't great. TV got cut off at a certain time, and that was it. Like the dad was on and off. So there was that like when you're watching the movie, you could see in Lorraine's face like how she's like we have to help them out. Like this mother's begging us to help. So like I need to like think of it in my shoes, switch it around. How would you react if somebody's asking for your help? When have they never turned their backs on somebody? And that's what I felt like. There was that connection. They had that connection because they're like, we're here to help people if they don't understand.
Okay. Um. Shit, my fucking brain took a fart. I was waiting for like I was all like, oh my god. Oh my god. Your final thoughts on the film before we move over uh to the next film.
uh oh man. There's like it was it was more like it how if you done so many investigations, be able to do everything, how did you not figure this out before that it was the mother? Because all of the other cases beforehand, before the family had bought this home, was that the mother would kill their child, sacrifice them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you not notice that beforehand and realize it was her, especially with her being like completely off? like she was able to, and all the other films, she
and the
was able to
marking,
like notice. Yes.
the whole marking and everything, which I thought was really
Yes.
well established. But I'm all like, I was like, that thing is
How,
growing.
yeah, like, and it's like it just kept going. Like she was say, like when she said that when she first went into the home to see everybody, she was able to see this figure attached to the daughter, attached to the other daughter, the mother, the father. Like, how did you not notice it was her the whole entire time?
Mm-hmm.
But on the other films, she was able to really quick. This is it. This is the
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
So, but this is where it becomes to, I guess, like understanding why, like again, this is the beginning. Like this is their very big case that they had, and she's still trying to figure out her own abilities.
yeah. There's one thing I really want to before we switch over to the next film. Um, it's the so James Wan also at the same time was doing the um not just the Conjuring, he was doing the Insidious franchise, which to me
Oh,
I think that is, if you really want something that has some high stakes, really stretches the imagination to the point that you're like, what? But like it's still entertaining. And of course, what's his name? Who plays Ed and everything? He's also in that one too. Patrick Wilson. Patrick
mhm.
Wilson's in this.
He
Is the
kept a lot of the actors and actresses in his movies.
Yeah,
Like he did.
because the actor who played Bathsheba was also in, um, what was in the Conjuring and the Insidious franchise. But I noticed that in these two films they borrowed off a lot, like when Lorraine falls down, and it's like it's right towards the end. Yeah, I think it's Lorraine falls right towards the end, and they're in the basement, and all of a sudden you see what are the feet of someone that apparently has hung themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and then you
Mm-hmm.
get that slow turnaround of the feet's pointing right, which to me that's all like, I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like
For a film that had its
she
own style, there were moments in there that it borrows a lot from, like both
y-
Insidious and everything, and I'm just
yes.
all like, that's an Insidious moment, especially with the
Yes.
music. It's an Insidious moment.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Did you ever
I
pick that
did
up?
notice that. I did. I'm glad that you pointed that out because I did notice that. So when before we started this, I watched all of them beforehand to just to kind of like recap everything and know like what's what. But I did notice that it is there. Most of them are the exact same music. It's just going to be in a different tone.
Mm-hmm.
So one will be high pitched than the other. It will be at like a few notes higher or a few notes lower,
Yeah,
or slow and fast. So I did notice that, which I mean, in my opinion, I think that's smart because you don't really have to do much. You just gotta like do a little tweak here and there instead of having to rehire musicians to be able to do that scene for a different movie.
yeah. Um,
So it saves the money. I can understand why the films were now that, like I said, you put this, I can understand why they were the price that they were.
yeah. So continuing on with that, it feels like with The Conjuring 2, with the infield investigation, the haunting, I definitely feel like they copied a lot of the very stark color contrast that are in the
Hmm.
Insidious films. Because in that one, when you go into the not the Upside Down, I've been binge watching Stranger Things. What is it? The is it the Other or the Further?
The further,
I
yes,
think that's what they called it and everything. It's
yeah, they
all
call it the
very,
further.
very saturated blues and everything. And of course, in this
Hmm.
one, I was like, look,
Yes.
just because you're in the UK does not mean it always looks that depressing. It's like I have
Yeah,
so many
yeah,
UK friends. It's like it's a sunny, UK day. It's like it's not always so cloudy. It's very, there's like a lot of color to it. No, not in these films.
yeah,
These films, it's like the same thing of any US film if they depict anything in Mexico and it gives you like that orange hue, kind of. It's like, not all of Mexico looks like that, right? And everything, but it's just how for some reason we view that in cinema. But Conjuring 2 borrows again a lot of the stark coloring that you would see in an Insidious film, but it loses me a little bit in the story. there's like a lot of really good
Yeah.
moments and scenes in this, like
Mm-hmm.
like the television scene where it's changing and it turns right off,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the old man that's like in the corner and everything, and it's like, get out of my house, and I'm all like, oh shit, and everything. But what are your thoughts on Conjuring 2? Like,
I honestly, I did not like Conjuring 2. Like you said, there was some good parts in it, but other than that, I was just like really just kind of like, is this really it? Like I felt like they were on the top in the first one, and then all of a sudden we just went down from the Conjuring 2, and it was just like, come on, man! Like I don't like this. Like you said, there was a lot of uh the Warrens in this one,
mm-hmm,
and I think that was the writers and producers fault on that one, was that they listened to the fans a little too much, that they wanted more of the Warrens involved. When I'm like, okay, what, it's not, I want to know what happened. I don't want to keep on seeing them. I want to know what's going on. Like, why, what's going on here? Why are we going back to seeing them again? Like, I
yeah.
just go to the story, just like the first one, how it was focused on the story of what was going on, them showing the family, them going through everything. I want to see the same thing going too, because this was a mother with one, two, three, four. I think this was five kids too
Yeah,
as well.
there's a pattern here apparently with these sequels. It's family with a shitload of kids.
Yeah.
At least the third one kind of changed it up, and you only got one kid.
Yeah.
I was like, thank fucking lord, I can't deal with another major family. But I'm looking at the time frame. So the first Conjuring was like just under 2 hours.
Hmm.
This one is over 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
And I think it's it was too long. It was too long, and it dragged. There you go. That's the word I wanted. It dragged to me. And that's where I just did, I was like, oh man, like it took me a while to watch the second one, because honestly, really the second one I just kind of like skimmed through it for the, like, I don't know how many times I've seen it, and I was like, okay, I kind of already know what the drift is, you
yeah,
know.
the
So
one
the
thing
second one I didn't really like.
I can say the strongest part about the second one, and maybe this should have taken more full center, outside of like the Warrens being just kind of like having their own weird story kind of placed in here, um, is how the network people, the reporters are investigating this of, oh, this is a it's a famous haunting now, it's made the
Mm-hmm.
papers, and there is one character in there that is at first a skeptic. He's a hard believer. I don't believe in the paranormal whatsoever. All of a sudden he starts
Mm-hmm.
experiencing all this, he's like, oh shit. And then even then, like when it came down to what seemed to be like, oh, it's the girls just pulling our leg, like we caught them on
Mm-hmm.
camera,
Mm-hmm.
they were doing all of this stuff, and then it's the one skeptic that's like, but couldn't it had controlled her and made her do all of this, like to make believe that all this would happen? I was like, see, why aren't we focusing on this guy? Why
Yep.
aren't we focusing on these people, on how they're doing that along with the family that is suffering? We only get like a little bit of the family in here, but it's more of the like, all right, well, we're adding this extra party in here, which is the reporters.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's kind of, I was like, well, you know what, like maybe if we kind of cut out some of the Warrens a little bit, maybe this would have not dragged, for one, but also two, maybe it would have been like, let's shift the focus on the actual investigation, not too much on the Warrens. And it's like, and their troubles, it's like, yes, we understand that there is this vision that, I'm trying to figure, it's not Elizabeth, right? Lorraine, that Lorraine
Mm-hmm.
has, that she sees Ed's death going. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's their driving force. Let's not make
Mm-hmm.
that the
Mm-hmm.
entire fucking film and
Yeah.
everything. It's like you look at other franchises that do stuff like this, like the Hercule Poirot stuff. It's not always about him. Now, some of the Americanized movies, yes, a little bit. It's all about him somewhat. But you look at those stories that told by Agatha Christie, those stories are all about the case and the people
Mm-hmm.
involved. It's never really about the investigator. The investigator is the audience's gateway into this world. And I kind of really feel
Yeah.
like this right here, they're like, well, maybe if we can make them apart and we kind of lose. I was like, no, 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 you've lost me. You've lost me.
Yep.
and everything.
Yep.
Do you feel like that's also kind of maybe what not had made this one such a great entry?
Yeah, I do. I do. If they would have kind of stuck how they were with the first one, where they did show the Warrens at the beginning and their like lifestyle, what they do in order for them to get involved, that I could see that happening. I really really strongly believe that they listened a little too much to the fans and just kind of blew it off. The just was not like as exciting as it was for the first one.
Yeah, I definitely agree because I remember seeing this and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's good.
Yeah.
It had some really good scary moments.
Yes, it did. It did.
Um, the Crooked Man one was the one that completely threw me the fuck off. I was like, I
Oh,
was all like,
yeah.
okay, are we going into the fantasy now? Like,
Y-
are we finally kind of losing a little bit of this? We're set in the world of realism, and are we really bringing in now that this demon just conjured itself up? And obviously Valak, which is the head demon here, they're it's holding his spirit hostage, which I actually like that mystery. The whole thing is like, well, how does the old man fit in here? And then even though
eh,
it's by a stretch of the imagination where they have the two different tape recordings and they play it at the same time, and like it's supposed to be
mhm.
like, I'm being held here, and it's all like,
Yeah, help
I,
me.
I like that. I like that. It's like
Yes,
that's a bit of a
yes.
stretch, but I like that. I
Yes.
kind of really wish that they went a little bit more into that to the point that maybe people would view this as pulp. They're pulp
Yeah.
stories. They're slightly based in reality. They are slightly based off of the real cases. But in order to make this
Mhm.
an entertaining, because you gotta entertain first, to make this
Mhm.
entertaining, it's like I felt like them trying to stay way too grounded. It's like, you know, which I'm guessing they probably did this because the Insidious franchise, which to me I think thrives a little bit better. There are some entries in that I
Mhm.
think that are stinkers, but
Mhm.
they really jump out into the fantasy and the wonder of, well, okay, we have this further, let's discover
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
People with
I
psychic
think
abilities.
we're able to get involved like that. I
Yeah.
think this one was the first one that I've seen in a movie that had two different entities in them, because like I
Oh
know we're
yeah.
not supposed to go off on the other sequels and everything, but like that's how like Annabelle Creations, Annabelle Coming Home, like that right there, it showed everything coming in, multiple entities that they had taken over years and all that. So this one was like when you Crook Your Man came, that scared me. I was like, whoa. I was like, what is that? Seeing something coming out of a tent, crawling up into like way taller than me. Yeah, I would be just as scared as the little boy was.
Yeah.
And then going again, whenever they introduced the nun Valak, that was like really, now that right there, that was what I got more interested in the Warren's case, into going into to all of the demons that we're not supposed to speak
Yeah.
about. So this was a very good introduction of the nun and the Crooked Man.
And I gotta sit there and say the Crooked Man definitely looks like it's something out of a Tim Burton nightmare. I felt like they
Yes.
asked Tim. It's like, Tim, do you have a character idea that you didn't sit there and ever use in any of your films? Like, do you think we could use something like that? It's like, well, what are you asking? Here's the
Yes.
scene. And it's like, all right, Crooked Man. I could, because
He,
also too the rhyme, because it came from like a book. I don't know if that's an
yes.
actual like nursery rhyme or something like that.
I don't I don't think it's a book. I believe it is a nursery rhyme. I want
Okay.
to say it is a nursery rhyme. Um so he looks to me, like you said, Tim Burton wise, he remind me of Jack Skeleton. Like this is Jack Skeleton's brother or something like that, or cousin. Like that's what I got, and I was just like, dang, this is good.
Those were a lot of the like, oh, I like that moment. That's really good, especially the
Yes, that
one.
was.
I feel like any paranormal film that has children, you have to have the ghost playing with toys and having the whole like. I
Yes,
think I think it was a ball or it was a train, and the kid
it
rolls
was
it in
the
there.
It was the fire truck. The fire
Fire
truck.
truck,
He had
and
his
then
fire truck that he was playing.
all of a sudden it comes right back out, and I'm fucking sorry, I'm getting the fuck out of here. You know, especially then when you hear the bellowing after, I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I have my issues with this film, but I will still pick this film watching it over the third one, which we're gonna talk about. The Devil Made Me Do It. Um,
Ah.
God, I really
This.
felt like the devil made me watch this because of just how terrible it was. This felt so much more like for one, I always sat there and thought that each of these films were supposed to have a different kind of theme, a different way, and how they wanted to approach this. And so when I heard
Mhm.
about this film, I'm thinking, oh, are we gonna get them in court? Are we gonna get like a
Yes.
court case supernatural thing where they are trying to tell it? And then, because I wouldn't have been upset if this film was told majority through flashbacks of all
Yeah.
like, well, what
Yes.
about next? And it's like, and then it'll cut to. I was expecting that, and then we get this, and I'm like, I feel like they
What
threw in
is
the
this?
ball. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
the Conjuring 2 came out in 2016. This one came out in 2021. I can't believe this film's 4 years old now. What the fuck? Um, 5 years
Dang.
have gone in between this, and
You don't hear anything about this one. This one
no,
is not a very popular movie at all. It was so bad.
I think through the premise it had a lot
Exactly.
of people interested, but the execution. James Wan didn't direct this nor wrote it. Michael
Mm,
Chavez directed it, which I can sit there and say there are some things that are done that I feel like Michael has done that I actually think were pretty cool, pretty interesting.
mhm.
But as far as story wise, like James Wan apparently had something involved with the story. That's pretty much it from like his his credit, that and he produced it along with Peter Safran. But I tapped out. And of
Mhm.
course at this time I have seen the first Annabelle, total shit show. Second one, God, I wish this was amazing. Why couldn't you do this in the first one? I
Yep.
saw The Nun. I was like, God, this is
Mm.
terrible, predictable. Love the setting. Love the setting, and I love that Vera Farmiga's little sister now has a part in this. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen The Nun 2, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's
Uh
good. And it's all like, I bet you after a shithole of a fucking film as the first one was. They
the
did the
Nun
same thing with
2 was
Annabelle.
the Nun 2 was, I think the Nun 2 was my favorite one out of the from the Nun to Nun 2, because they explain a lot more than the first, which
The
it should have
first.
been reverse. Yeah, it should have been a
Should have been.
reverse. I can understand it. The second one sucked, but the first one should have not sucked. So that right there, I do like the Nun. If all the Conjuring spin-offs and everything, I think the Nun was my favorite one. But Nun 2, not Nun 1. Nun 2 was my favorite one.
I ain't gonna have none of
Uh
that.
the the Devil Made Me Do It was just like a really crappy one. It should, honestly, in my opinion, it should have never been a movie. It should have been a documentary, honestly. I would understand that. Uh like you said, going to flashback wise, that would have been good, but it was just like that. And the trial wasn't even long. The trial was like a very short trial. They try to use one that happened in Spain for they did convicted, I can't remember the whole details about it, but I believe it was somebody in Spain that they had won the case of a demon a possession on the person in trial. So
Okay.
that's what they were trying to go based on that. That's what they're trying to
So they were
get
trying to
him to be.
blend two different court cases. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
that's what they were trying to do. And the judge was just like, not, no, no, not having it. The judge was like totally not having it. And like I said, it was not long. Um this was not a global or around the world talk. This is literally a small town and a state that only just that state knew about it. Maybe
They kind of
the
went back
neighbors.
to their roots of, all right, let's go
Yeah.
smaller. Let's
Yeah, they
see what we
did.
can do. Which generally you always get that when you do the third film. To
Mhm.
me, I feel like in any franchise, once you get to the third film, because we're getting another one of these. Usually the third one doesn't always strike the strong. Sometimes to me, actually, it's always the third film in a franchise. It's usually my favorite. Halloween 3, that's my
Hmm.
favorite of the entire Halloween things. And it even had
Yeah, yeah,
Michael
yeah.
really involved in it. I love Scream 3. I love that they took this to Hollywood. And a lot of these meta
Hmm.
references to filmmaking, to all this other stuff, even a lot of like the early Harvey Weinstein shit, you know, which explains what happened to Sydney's mom. Why did she leave
Yeah.
Hollywood? Uh, Her bastard son going to sit there and trying to find her and everything, and she rejects him. I was like, okay, I enjoyed these, um, but this one I couldn't. And I'm pretty sure if I would have watched the Annabelle films and the Nuns, I probably could come here and sit there and say something nice to it, because again, it's more of the, I don't like the execution in which these things went through. I don't really believe that every film is like an actual terrible bad film. Because you know what?
Hmm.
I've seen The Room plenty of damn times. There's still some funny fucking shit in The Room that I watch. It's not meant to be comedic. But the belly button sex scene and the oh hi mock, that's what we live for. No matter how terrible a scene is, you can at least pick one scene, one or two, and be like, well, you know what? I enjoyed this. So maybe I kind of really wish that this was centered. For me, I really do like it when the Warrens were investigating the one priest that actually did do studies in Satanism, because this was
Hmm.
satanic panic
Hmm.
all over. And
Yep.
then we get this whole story of, well, like, my daughter, she got into this and everything to spite me. I was like, all right, why isn't this the center? we
Yep.
we we have the case here. This is a part of the case.
Hmm.
Why aren't you more of? And those actors did phenomenal.
Yes, they
I
did.
I'm trying to find, the occultist is Eugenie Baudrant.
Hmm.
I'm trying to sit there and figure out what's the name of the priest. I think it was Father Newman or
Hmm.
whatever. Like, again, these were some really really good characters that maybe we could have expanded upon. Got to sit there and know, but we didn't. I felt like this film tried to push the envelope a little bit more with the Satanists and um like the way how like the demons come and appear. I think the prison scene where like all the lights go out and all of a sudden it goes up, and there's like that one inmate sitting up and it's like talking to the Arnie guy, and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden he
Hmm.
gets grabbed by the damn head, and like there's like this entity that looks just like the Satanist chick right
Hmm.
there, and
Hmm.
it's like, oh, that's fucking frightening.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
where was all this really really good story? Where was like all this really
I
good relationship between the father, the daughter? Why is she doing this? Where is all of that? It felt like it
uh,
was too much of the Warrens again.
honestly, that right there, like, whenever they were doing the court, like that right there, I felt like that was just like a big giant gap. Like what? Like you said, where was all of this at from here? Like that, I think it should have been reversed. And the priest with his daughter should have been the first thing, and then it would have transitioned into the court case part. I think it would have been a little bit more better, but it was just like there was too much of a big gap that I didn't understand. Honestly, like if you're trying to get into the Conjuring franchise, I honestly don't think that you don't need to see this one, because there's none of these spinoffs is not in here. None of them.
Correct.
It's just a court case that they took upon, and this was the only court case that they ever did, the Warrens themselves. They
Yeah.
never picked up one because the church forbid it. Because of course, if you don't notice that they had to go through the church, they had to go to the Vatican to be able to get any kind of approval.
But
So
even in
this
the
is
first film, though, they ended up breaking that rule.
yes,
They
they
broke
did
that
break
rule
that
just to
rule,
save the Quran and everything,
which,
and then this comes back again.
which I'm surprised because in the Catholic way wise, when you first do that, the church will turn their back on you real quick because you broke the most sacred rules that they have to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That is a mockery to God. At least that's what I was told.
yeah. The actor who played the uh the ex priest, Kastner,
Hmm.
was John Noble, which I knew I'd seen this man before. He played
Hmm.
Denethor. This is me flexing my nerd lore and everything. Denethor in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
He was the father to oh my god, Boromir. who died at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the first film, protecting the hobbits and everything, but he was also kind of wanting to
Mm-hmm.
steal that ring from Frodo. I mean, this was the
Yes.
asshole that practically tried to kill his other son because he thought his other son died in battle,
Yeah.
and he's like gonna set himself on fire. It's like, where have I seen that guy before? And then it was like, oh, he's that dickhead that ended up getting himself caught on fire, and then he ran and he jumps off the cliff, as he's like on
Yeah.
fire, and then Gandalf is like, oh fucking finally, now we got rid of the poison here, and now we can finally get like an actual ruler here. Kind of the same thing that was also in the Two Towers, where um
Oh, the Twin Towers was my favorite one.
Gandalf
The
the
Two Towers,
White,
excuse me. Oh.
when Gandalf the White was trying to get oh my god, was it Brad Dourif off that dude's shoulder?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting the name of that character, but yeah, no, I had to like look it up. I've seen this man. The man's a phenomenal actor. uh
Yes.
and he only got
Yes.
this small part of a role. I was like, no, I kind of feel like maybe the Warrens should be trying to stick with him and learn
Yeah.
more about the
Yep.
Satanism. We don't know what to do. This is new, like, this thing that we found underneath their house, which, gladly, like, some of the stuff of how they put it together. I understand that they want to steep it in realism, but god dang, make it entertaining. It's like, I don't care
Yeah.
about Ed being limping with a cane. We get it. He's getting
Yeah.
old. Doing this stuff has done stuff to his age. It's like, you didn't
Yep.
sit there and you didn't plant these seeds in the first film. You planted them in the second one, and even the second one didn't do it well enough. So why are we continuing this?
And that's where I feel like that's where too that it kind of like made me not, well, it did make me not like it, was that there's nothing that Lorraine was able to do, like where her abilities were needed.
Yeah.
Um, Ed was gone for a good amount of the film,
Hmm.
so it was just like, then what are they doing here? Like, what is the Warrens doing here?
It's it's
It broke
just
it. It
it's
broke the connection.
yeah. And I had no problem maybe seeing a little bit of Ed and Lorraine in here, because again,
Mm-hmm.
they they had some stuff. They had some
Mm-hmm.
stuff to go through a lot with like their health and everything. But I don't know. The whole power of love, I love you, kind of wins. It's kind of corny, but you know what? At the same time,
Yeah.
it's like, well, yeah, if you're facing true evil, then no matter how corny as it gets, yeah, the power of love will prevail. But that whole end point when like they're finally confronted with the occultists, and um she blinds Port. I guess that's why the actual Ed Warren's eyes always, like, kind of like look like he's barely opened them. It's all like, in the second one he had steam blown into his eyes. This one he had some type of powder thrown into his damn eyes and he went blind. It's all like, dude, just wear glasses at this fucking point. um
The protective goggles.
Exactly. It's all like, everyone's going for your damn eyes. Don't worry about your bum leg.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going for your eyes. Could this have been better? Yes. I
100%
I
better.
actually, I really want to sit there and read the screenplay to this and actually sit there and see what all they possibly could have cut out. Because usually when like they release the script, it has everything that what the writer had and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't cut those out, if the film cuts it out and everything, unless someone did like a whole one based exactly off of the film, like dissertating that. But I would like to sit there and see what all was cut that maybe we could have enjoyed this film a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But after this, we do have The Conjuring Last Rites, which for some reason is a bit hard to sit there and figure out what the fuck this movie's about. I looked it up
Yeah.
on Wicca. Wicca didn't give me anything. Uh, Google gave me paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren try to vanquish a demon from a family's home. That is the fucking blandest fucking synopsis to sell anyone on a fucking film. Uh, but looking here at IMDb, because again, this film comes out in like a month. Um,
Yeah.
we
And
have
we
about,
haven't had no trailers, no nothing.
yeah,
We have nothing about it, which I hope that if you really pay attention to some of the, like any movie that comes out, when they don't give you any
they're
trailers
burying it.
or tease, yeah, and they're holding it, it's usually really good. And I hope that because it ends. Hopefully, it ends at this next one
Hmm.
with the Conjurings and everything. That they don't mess it up. That they review from the first one of
Yeah.
how much it was good, and then the second one. Don't even bother with the third one, but just go with the first one and kind of fix up what you did with the second one.
Yeah, because this one again is going to be directed by Michael Chavez. So James Wan is not going to direct this one like he did the first two. So this is
Mm,
still the same director from three. Ian Goldberg,
mm-hmm.
Richard Nang, and David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. God damn, try saying that fucking name over and over. Pretty much we only have the writer from like the last film, but along with two other writers. Let's hope that this is really good. But IMDb says paranormal investigators and Lorraine Warren take on one last terrifying case involving mysterious entities they must confront. Multiple, that's a lot better. So maybe there's something here kind of like in two where there were the multiple entities that they're going.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another one that if you scroll down below where storyline is, it says paranormal investigators and Lorraine Warren take on their most disturbing case to date. Jack and Janet Smurl and their family move to a brand new home they've dreamed of, which turns into a nightmare as their home begins to show signs of demonic infestation. It's like a little bit of one. So hopefully this is coming full circle. Hopefully this
Yeah.
is I really do hope, because I really do enjoy this franchise. I really do hope that this film does well. It comes out September 5th, so by the time that this episode actually comes out, it'll come out the following week, or next week. Once this episode comes out and everything. So you know
Mm-hmm.
what, like James Wan, all you guys, like you guys just got like a little bit of free advertisement here. I advertise your fucking new movie, so let's hope that you
Yeah.
did really good. Because again, I love these films. I love these
Yeah.
films. I
Yeah.
love investigative paranormal series. I'm starting to get into the Dresden Files. I'm reading the book and everything,
Oh.
which is about like a wizard that does like investigations in like
Mm-hmm.
modern day Chicago. They did a TV show that lasted only one season. If you're a fan of Arrow,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
okay, so the main cop guy who always had a bad attitude towards Oliver and everything because
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
daughter went missing.
Yeah.
Something Lance is his character's name, but he plays the lead in the Dresden. He plays the lead wizard in that one. I was like, okay, read a few of these books, watch the TV show. I'm into stuff like this. Um,
Yeah.
so I kind
The-
I really hope that they end this film, this franchise, with something really good. No more
Yes.
spinoffs. Don't do spinoffs. You're not Universal, where back then they could do
No.
all of these extra, like you had all the sequels from Frankenstein, Dracula that were kind of good, kind of bad, and then you ended
Mm-hmm.
with the Abbott and Costello meet such and such, and I don't want them having to do that to themselves. I feel like the Insidious franchise, I think, kind of ended kind of all right. It's not the best. It wasn't a shit show of an
Yeah.
ending, but like
It 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 was definitely a scary
yeah.
movie. I enjoyed the Insidious franchise. I did enjoy them
I
a
even
lot.
enjoy some of the hokey ones, like The Last Key. Like to me, I I
Oh
I, I just thought The
God.
Last Key that had like a really good, uh, really good. God, now maybe we have to bring you back on later to cover Insidious, to cover the other side of
I'm
James
really
Wan that actually is beloved a little bit more.
Yes, yes. That one that I'm willing to do that. That was a good one, especially with the song that they
Mm-hmm.
used. That was everywhere, and it gave me the creeps
Yeah,
because I was just like, "What?" I think this is such a really happy song, and all of a sudden you got this creepy red-faced guy that is like looks kind of like the devil, but not really the devil. We don't know
the
exactly what he is.
the red faced demon and everything.
Yes.
If you see the actual
Oh,
dude who plays without like any of the makeup, and it's
his
like this dude, I'm all like, I would probably cross the street and be like, I'm afraid he's gonna hex me or
yes,
something.
yes,
And
yes.
of course he does the music too for that franchise. I don't know if he does the
Oh,
music for The Conjuring, but if I can end this episode at least saying one last good thing about The Conjuring franchise is their end credit music.
yes,
They have
yes.
like some of the, like, if you just want to stay by and just listen to the music, they they did great. They did great with that
Mm-hmm.
and everything. It's like it's very kind of hyped. It's going.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gives me like a little bit of the early 2000s, like when they would do credits, and it's like this kind of mechanical classical music where you just
Yes.
it's like dun 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 dun, and like it's all like, oh, I can really get into this. Where was this in the movie? It's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you saved it. But do you have any final thoughts for this franchise before we say goodbye?
Please don't mess up the last one.
That's
uh,
fair. That's
but
fair.
final thoughts. Like for us, this definitely the first one was definitely my favorite one out of all. The thrill was great. I hope that they transition that again into this next one that they're about to release. I definitely will bring my thoughts to you whenever I see it for like probably two times. I have to see it at least two times to be able to give my final thoughts on that one.
That's fair.
Um, but yeah, this is definitely if you like to like the ghost investigating part, this is definitely one of the ones to go ahead and look at. Um, don't go based on what the internet says because I know I looked up to see like how all of the Conjuring plus the sequels go by. It doesn't make sense. La Leona, I don't know where she came part of because
Yeah.
that's an old Mexico story. So I don't know how that came about. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's another film that you really don't have to watch, or another sequel that you don't have to watch. But everything else was it tied up pretty well. Hopefully,
I feel
hopefully
like
it gets better.
when you when you deal with, I guess, like a franchise like this, you can really watch almost any of these films in order.
Yes, you can.
It's not like the MCU where you have to watch these movies in order and then you have to watch this one television show just to understand this one thing. It's like you can really pick up any one of these, you can really watch them. They're enjoyable,
Hmm.
they're good to pass the time. You can't beat the first one. The first one, I think it climbed Everest and it just couldn't climb Everest ever again. It it
Yeah,
it set a really high standard, and
it did.
even James Wan couldn't even beat that standard. When he did the sequel, he was like, "I did such a good job. I don't think I could do that again." So I'll
I think
just
he
go
toot his.
I'll make this other franchise, and it'll be fine. But yeah, that we're gonna call it for an episode here, folks, and everything. Angie, can you give the wonderful people your social so they can find you?
Yes, it is on TikTok, Twitch. It is BDsGaming39. If you would like to look me up, that'll be great. Don't forget to like and share.
Hell yeah. See, look at her. Like, she's already a professional content creator. Like and share. Yeah, make sure like and share this episode too. You can find me on most of the socials, Gothic Storyteller. Thank you guys again for watching. What did you think of the Conjuring franchise? Do you like the Insidious? Do you think that's a better franchise than currently the Conjuring? Throw all your comments down below. As always and everything. Thank you guys again so much again for watching. Thank you, Angie, so much again for being here. I love and appreciate it so freaking much that we got to sit there and do a little bit of shit talking, but also really actually talk about a lot of the films that we can enjoy. There's not really such thing as a total shitstorm of a bad film, unless it's Lumberjack
No.
Man. That one I can't pick a really good reason why any good scene in that one. But generally, you can always find something. And if you want to, you can share that in the comments too. What is your favorite scene in what is considered a terrible film? What is your favorite scene? We all have those and everything. Folks, we're signing off. Goodbye.